Welcome to episode 2. I am Jay.
And I am T.
And we are back with another podcast episode.
Yeah, surprisingly, right?
Surprisingly, we're back, yes. Now, we might as well just get it out the way. Favorite video game?
Favorite video games?
Favorite video game of all time right now?
During 2020? Let me think here. So, actually, I've been playing a lot of... they weren't necessarily my favorites because... of all time or just 2020?
Well, not of all time. I mean, just what you've been playing. I mean, last year we had that whole pandemic going on.
Okay,
all
so
the lockdowns, and surely you must have been indoors for a while. So I wanted to see, hey man, I mean, what kept you entertained 2020?
So actually, I've been playing a myriad of games, but my favorite game of 2020 that I've played so far is Ghost of Tsushima. That was a fun game. I really like Ghost of Tsushima.
It is unfortunate that I don't have a PlayStation. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever get around to playing that game. Maybe if I get a PS5. I did hear it's the PS5 is backwards compatible with all PS4
I think either is backwards compatible or that they might just, remake the game for PS5. Because, Ghost of Tsushima is one of those, it was like the Persona 4 of like the PS4 era. Because, you know how Persona 4... It kind of came out in 2008 at the end of the PS2's lifespan, which was weird.
PS2 or PS3?
PS2, because by the time Persona 4 came out, the Persona 4 game, let me see.
Yeah, it seems, if I remember correctly, you said Persona 3, right?
It was Persona 4 because
Persona 4, I thought it was around the PS Vita / PlayStation 4 time.
No, because by the time the Persona 4 came out on the PS2, the PS2 was already dead. Like, it was already at the end of its lifespan. PS3 was just coming up. It was like 2000, because I think PS3 came out 2007, I think, right? 360 came out 2007 or 2006. It's around the same time, and that's really weird because why would you release another game on a console that's already is done. It's reached its lifespan already. But that was a sleeper hit. It was actually a really good game. But the bad part is just that, well, man, it just got released at the end of the lifespan, and it was kind of like swept under the rug for a bit. Now, don't get me wrong, the game was still good. They even made an anime out of the Persona 4, the Persona 4 game, and an anime adaptation. However, it was still kind of it was a niche thing.
So you feel that they're probably going to do the same thing like they did with GTA 5? Because I remember correctly, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out literally, I think, around the last year of the 360 era, because I do remember that when the Xbox One came out, they made an Xbox One version, and it was better because... they gave it like a first-person mode.
Yeah.
And I think that's really about it. I mean, I think they might have improved the graphics. I'm actually not too sure about that. It didn't really seem like they did.
If you think about it, GTA 5 is like Rockstar's version of Skyrim. They got released on so many freaking platforms that you might as well call it their own Skyrim.
I mean, I do know the very last platform it released was PC. That was the last.
So I know it was 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Yeah, I think you're right. The last thing was on PC. Oh, but back to what I was saying, though, about Ghost of Tsushima. That game was really fun. It was different, because it was different from anything you've played so far. And you hunt down Mongolians, and all that, right? Through there. And it's basically a very, very, their own version of, the Mongolian invasion of Japan on Tsushima, right? But it's really fun. Now, the thing is, though, I have to give them this. The game is fun, yes. Combat is fun, right? Story, phenomenal. Really good, right? But here's the thing, though, is that, the game is an open world game. The game is beautiful. I give them that. But, it's an open world game, but, after a certain point... some of the open world activities that you do, they just get boring. A lot of the side quests they have, those side quests they have in Ghost of Tsushima, they're very, they have their own story to them. But you really don't care about the villagers that you save. You only see them once, and you know, if a villager dies, they die, and you're just there thinking, oh well, and you move on. You know, like the only characters you care about are the main characters. Everyone else you really don't care about. And but overall though, game was fun. I do recommend putting the game on hard mode though, not the hardest mode, but like a hard mode, because normal mode I felt was too easy. Now the hardest mode is lethal mode. It's like their version of Halo's legendary mode, but that's just too hard. Like because you know you can kill enemies with like 1 or 2 hits, but they can kill you. You get me? But I say the hard mode is like the perfect ground where you can enjoy the game and still feel the challenge, but not to the point where you're just punishing yourself. You get me? And then and what game did you play that was, you know, that got you into it of 2020?
Well, unfortunately, I did not have my PC ready. I was in the process of building a PC. Unfortunately, I was trying to wait for the new 3080s to come out before I finish, because that's the graphics card is the very last thing I need. Unfortunately, scalpers.
Tell me about it.
Crypto miners. Yeah, we unfortunately are in a GPU shortage. So for the first half of 2020, unfortunately, I was just a basic bitch and just started playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that was the only game I had. However, if I had my PC ready around the summer, or if I managed to get in my hands, like if I was lucky enough to get my hands on a 3080, I would have played the hell out of the new Mountain Blade Bannerlord.
Is that already out?
Well, it's out in early access, unfortunately. But they're giving us a chance to play it, because I've been waiting years to play the game. My lord, the very first one that I remember playing, Mountain Blade Warband. I know that's not the first game in the series. It's like the second one. I think it's like more like a remake of the first one. They just added a bunch of new factions, a bunch of more stuff. They added like a multiplayer. Such a legendary game. It's easily one of my top 3 favorite games of all time.
Didn't you say that the gameplay is kind of like build your own adventure?
Yes, it is. Single player, super fun. I spent hours and hours playing. I think that's the game that I've clocked in the most hours playing. My Steam account, last time I checked, I spent around 600 hours playing that game. And that's just on the single player.
With or without mods?
Well, you gotta, of course, with mods.
Mods are amazing when it comes to that type of stuff.
Right. And back to the Persona games. I was actually lucky enough to manage to play Persona 4 Golden. Last year, before the whole pandemic. Yeah.
Fun fact.
I did wish though I was playing Persona 4 Golden during the pandemic. It would have made it. Yeah, it would have made the months go.
But the thing is, like Persona 4 Golden though, it's not necessarily a short game, but it's not necessarily a long game, because like sure they did added a couple things into Persona 4 Golden that they did not have in Persona 4, because so if everyone doesn't know, Persona 4 Golden came out about 4 more years after Persona 4, like original Persona 4 on PS2, but on the PS Vita. And that Persona 4 Golden also kind of helped surge the PS Vita's sales up a bit. It helped. It
was probably like the best game on the PS Vita.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the entire reason. I mean, now you can play Persona 4 Golden on the PC, which is nice. And like I think it's at 60 FPS now, right?
I knew that before I bought a PS Vita just to play that game.
No, but like no, they just came out with it like just recently, the on PC, not like during the time when you played on the Vita.
Right. Yeah. I know it came out around the pandemic.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine playing it on his Steam account. I was like, wait, Persona 4 Golden's on PC? Yeah, so probably it came out of nowhere, yeah.
But the thing is, though, is that, like, what I do like about it is that not only does it give you, it gives you, a couple months after the boss is defeated, quote unquote, because original Persona 4, this is kind of slight spoilers, but at the same time, you kind of need to know this. Because the way Persona 4 works is, days go by and you have to progress the plot, right? But, you don't have unlimited time. You have a calendar that you have to follow to make sure that you do your activities in accordance to that calendar. But
it's like Persona 5 pretty much.
Yeah. But the thing is that in Persona 4, once you beat the quote unquote, boss that's behind this all. The game somehow you're thinking, okay, cool, I have a couple more months, because you look at the calendar, you're like, I totally have a couple more months, I'm totally good. But the game is like, no, fuck you. So they just fast forward to your last day in Inaba, and you're like, bruh, and then
and that's just on Persona 4.
That's on Persona 4, but like little hint, boys. With JRPGs, you always know there's always a secret ending, or those good, bad, and best endings. Just keep your eyes out and think about that when you're playing Persona. But Persona 4 Golden gave you more months, and it gave us more characters, right? But like, did you really care about that new character, Marie?
No, I did not. I actually hated that character. Like,
you don't think she's canon? She's the canon ship for the main.
I do know. Persona 4, the animation was. I believe you mentioned it was great.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Yes. Now, I didn't really like Marie only because of like. I felt like if she didn't do those edgy poems that she reads to you every now and then, it would have been. She would have been like an alright character to me.
I mean, she was a stereotypical tsundere, but it's just that
she was like a goth tsundere.
Yeah, well, think of this, listeners. She was kind of an edgelord, basically.
Right? Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
Edgelord, straight
freaking
up edgelord.
Freaking edgelord. Now, let's go to a controversial question: Persona 4 or Persona 5? Which one was best?
See, for me, I personally felt more I did enjoy Persona 5. Persona 5 has its like merit, don't get me wrong. I prefer Persona 4 Golden more, and here's why. Because, well, okay, the major theme about Persona 4 Golden was that you're trying to accept yourself, right? Accept yourself as the way you are, even the bad parts, right?
Not only that, but it had that. Persona 4 also had that small town serial killer, kind of like a JoJo,
like a Scooby-Doo type of vibe. But
kind of like JoJo Part 4.
Yeah. So the thing is that with Persona 5, it was more like you're trying to steal the evil from people's heart type of deal, right? You're trying to like go in there and like vanquish the evil type of shit, right?
Yeah, kind of like reform them.
Yeah. But the thing is though, like in like the Persona 4 or 5 story was nice, but it's just that I related to the characters of Persona 4 more. They were more relatable. I'm not sure if it was because the Persona 5 people were city slickers or something like that, or it was just because their lives are too, I guess, out there. Because Haru, the girl with the rich girl, she was like rich, right? And the only person that I could kind of relate to in that was not Anne, not Haru or Makoto, but what's his name? Ryoji, I think.
You're talking about the yellow-haired guy?
Yeah, yellow-haired
guy.
Is it Ryoji?
Yeah, I think
starts with an R. I know that.
I'm not too sure.
We'll just call him his best friend. But so far, he was the most relatable. But like overall, the rest of the cast was kind of just, they were just they weren't boring. No, don't get me wrong, they weren't boring. But it's just that I couldn't relate to them as much. Persona 4 the Golden though, every one of the characters, minus the side characters, of course, they were nice. Except Nanako in Persona 4 Golden. It's just everything about every character, and then like once you figure out why they hate their, they hate the part of themselves that they do hate about, they hate, then you realize like, damn, they're humans just like us. And I was more emotional.
You were right the first time. It was Ryuji.
Yeah, you were okay. But yeah, the thing is, Persona 4 Golden though, they make me feel more than Persona 5. I mean, there are some people that died in Persona 5, and some people that had like tragic endings and all that. Don't get me wrong, but like, in my opinion, Persona 5, like spoiler wise, Jay, you don't remember that character that like don't say it, but like I'm showing to you. You can see me, but the viewers can't see us. Right. You remember that character, right?
Right.
So let's just say,
not really
listeners,
much of a spoiler since it's happening kind of early on in the game, but
but the thing is, like, for people who haven't played it, we want them to like
right.
enjoy
And I highly recommend Persona 5, but I mean, in my personal opinion, Persona 4 was just better.
Yeah, but like you can't lie though. After that moment with
Persona
that
4
one
Golden,
character in Persona 5, after she did what she did, it kind of had a downward slope. Like it was like they kind of like threw their cards all in one pile, and you know that was shock factor. Yes, but then after that, everything else was kind of tame. It was
I think I kind of disagree on that because for me, the moment the show got pretty meh was when one of the characters, Akechi, I did not like his arc at all.
I know.
I did not like how they're trying to forgive him, and it was like I think he redeemed himself at the end. I did not like that redemption arc bit, at all, because what that man did. I don't think, it was not forgivable. I could never forgive someone if somebody ever does something like that to me. Might as well just, we shouldn't spoil it.
No,
we shouldn't spoil it for people playing.
To make it worse, listeners, is that Akechi, the thing is, like, it's not necessarily spoilers because you do see him on the cover art of the game too.
Well, yeah, because like they're trying to brand him as one of the main protagonists.
Yeah.
And
but it's just it's just like this, boys. It's just like this. They review Akechi too far in, or too like near end game of the Persona 5 game, to the point where like even if he does redeem himself, it's just such a short amount of time to redeem yourself.
It's a shorter time also to try to get to know him. Like personally, I just thought he was a boring character. I thought he was a boring character. I honestly did not like him. It's not like unlike, like, let's say for example in Persona 4 with Nanako, like she was there the whole time, and every now and then, like, you know, you interact with her pretty much every day because she's you're living in the same houses. So she's like, you know, obviously the little sister type. Yeah, she's more like your cousin.
Yeah, she's your cousin, but then you had that big bro vibe. But
right.
But also,
you know, I like it because, you know, with Nanako, even though she's not a playable character, I mean, she is involved in the game, like in a big part. But see, you feel more attached to her rather than Akechi, because Akechi, he's just some random guy that he really only showed up mid game.
Well, if you think about it, then you could say that Naoto, right? Naoto. I mean, let's not spoil Naoto's arc, but Naoto from Persona 4. She, the thing is, like, on the original cover art, on the original Persona 4 cover art, she's not on the cover art, or even, like, you know, even, like, shown, like, in the soundtrack cover art either. Oh, I think so. But on Persona 4 Golden, you know, they kind of, like, spoil it and show everyone in the cast, of course. But in the original Persona 4, Naoto, right, she, I remember this, I even remember telling you, Jay, is this. When I played Persona 4, the reason why I got hooked into it, because I liked the music. My friend showed me, and I love the soundtrack. Persona 4 has...
obviously, the Persona series has some of the best soundtracks. Yeah. I can't speak for the first 3, because I've only really jumped on board Persona 4 Golden and then Persona 5. I really like the series, but I mean, Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 have some of the most amazing...
Persona 3, the Persona 3 is nice too, but it's just dark. But
well, yeah, I have seen like videos and like fan art of the Persona 3 cast and like how they release their personas, but the soundtrack for Persona 4 and Persona 5, obviously some of the best in video game.
Yeah, but Jay, the thing is, man,
out there.
I got hooked onto the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack for Persona 3. Really
no, Persona 4. My bad.
I mean Persona 4.
I got hooked onto it. And then I bought the game. You know, I bought the game because, like, my friend showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, I really like this." I bought the game. I had a PS2 at the time. You know, like this. I didn't play Persona 4, like, you know, during 2008. I bought, you know, I played it, like, you know, way later. It was just that, like, I had a PS2 from a retro game shop, and I kind of just, you know, I had a PS2, so I was like, "Oh, why not?" Tried it, played it. It was nice. One of the people I was trying to romance was Naoto, right? And the thing is that, like, you know, or get to know Naoto. But the thing is about Naoto is that, like, in the original Persona 4 game, she only appears for a month. She only appears for a month before, like, the game, like, reaches its conclusion, right? So unless you spend every waking hour of your days during that 1 month to, like, romance her or, like, you know, build her up,
like ship her.
Yeah, ship her. Even after you reach, like, max social link. The only one of the few or only like dates or like interactions you like romantic interactions you had with her was, I think it was Christmas and New Year's, I think. Then after that it was kind of just right. That pissed me off, and that's when it jumped. Like, it skipped the months, and it went to the last day of the game. I was like, wow. So T was really mad, or like T was like, hoed. I was very hoed. For hoed viewers, just very hoed. So what T did was, T straight up went to GameStop, bought a PS Vita. This is when the PS Vita was on its last leg. Bought a PS Vita for cheap, like a new PS Vita. I think it was a PS Vita Slim. Bought that. Bought Persona 4 Golden. Because, like, apparently, after my long and desperate search for vanilla, that I was like, this is it? This is all I get? Because, like, my first ship was Chie. But, I was trying to wait more, right? But
I gotta say, I'm more of a Rosette person. I love.
You like Rosette?
Yeah.
I like Chie or Naoto. But the thing is, like, that's besides the point. T went to GameStop, got his stuff, played Persona 4 Golden, got more out of it. Like, I got more out of it. I liked it more. I was like, this gave me some closure. That, and, it was slightly better looking, and, some voice actresses did change and all that. But there's the amount of things you could do in Persona 4 Golden. Like, you can actually now go out at night. You can go out at night, and then you can actually go out to another town. Because you have a moped. Like, it's just... Persona 4 is like,
Yeah, you can't really do much in that other town, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, like...
It's kind of like when you go to the beach, you can't really do
no, it's the fact that you could go there,
Yeah,
that's the thing. While, like, see, that's the thing, is that, like... that's what I liked about Persona 4 Golden so much,
Okay, and... I mean, what are the nice things you have to say about Persona 5? I mean, I personally love Persona 4 Golden more than Persona 5. But eventually, they might make... I think they already made a better version of Persona 5
4, like,
Royale.
Persona 5 Royale, right? Where they added the girl... I think... Is her name Sakura?
I'm sure. No.
He has the red
I know
hair.
the red hair. Yeah.
So...
Disclaimer, we've never played Persona 5 Royale. I think I'll probably get around with it, but so far we're just talking about Persona 5.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, there is one caveat about that, is that, like, Persona 5 Royale, my friend did play it all the way, and he told me that he felt kind of betrayed from Atlas, because, okay, you're thinking with Persona 5 Royale, you're thinking, it's like another Persona 4 Golden, right? Or another Persona 3 FES, right? Where they just, add more upon the base game, right? Thing is that Persona 5 Royale is an entirely different game. Yeah, like, say for instance you have Persona 5. You can't be like, I'm going to download the DLC Persona 5 and get the Royale add-on. There's nothing like that. You really have to buy an entirely different game, because Persona 5 Royale is an entirely different game.
I mean, they did that with Golden as well, but, Golden was just for the PS Vita.
Yeah, but Golden was like, but that's the difference though. Like the Persona 4 was on PS2. Persona 4 Golden was on PS Vita. They brought it onto a new console, so to let a new generation experience this hidden gem. Well, Persona 5...
PS Vita flopped, and I was actually kind of upset with it. I thought the PS Vita was actually a nice console.
I kind of blame Sony for, like, giving up on it so easily. Because think about it, in Japan, it was still doing good. In the US, they just gave up on it. Like, they're just like, meh.
Well, I was under the impression, and well, not really under the impression, but I kind of dig around a little bit, and I think the main reason it flopped was just because the cost of making games on the PS Vita.
Yeah,
it didn't really make sense. I mean, I think they couldn't charge full price. They couldn't charge $60 for a game on the PS Vita. I believe the most they could charge was like $40, but the production cost kind of outweighed those $40.
Yeah.
And remember, you also got to understand, this was the time before they... DLCs really took off.
Yeah.
Or like freemiums. I'm pretty sure they can make it work now. But
yeah.
I think because of the whole PS Vita failure, Sony just probably won't touch mobile gaming again.
By the way,
kind of sad. I feel like they'd probably make a really good comeback if they did.
By the way, Jay, like moving on from Persona though, because I think
we're kind of on that topic.
Yeah, everyone has.
We're really big Persona fans. I mean, I'm not a huge one because I can't really call myself a true Persona fan because I didn't play.
Yeah, but would you really apply that gatekeeping to yourself though? I mean, like, as long as you enjoy the fandom, that's nice. You don't want to be like, you don't want to like not play the game because of some toxic fan base. You don't want to do that. I mean, think about it. I played Persona 3 through 5, and Persona 1 and 2. I think it was Persona Eternal Sin and something else. Those two games were like that was Persona up until Persona 4. All Persona games were labeled underneath the Shin Megami Tensei like title, And I was all like, But tell me this, but tell me this, Jay. Are you looking forward to 2021 in video games? Because like what I'm looking forward to, man, and you're looking forward to it too. And don't worry, viewers. If you don't know the series, we will introduce it to you. Is Rune Factory 5. I'm introducing it. I'm so ready for that.
That's
my body is ready.
I remember playing that game. I remember okay, I used to be a contractor back in the day.
Yeah. 2021 Rune Factory 5 is gonna come out, and everyone's thinking. I'm
so excited for that.
Everyone's thinking, what the hell is Rune Factory, right? We'll get to that, but the reason why both Jay and I are excited is because Jay lost hope with Rune Factory because my mom. Okay, think of it like this: Rune Factory is like Persona. It's a spin-off from the original series, and the original series of Rune Factory was Harvest Moon. We don't call it Harvest Moon no more because the real Harvest Moon, due to some naming issues and some company issues, the actual Harvest Moon is now called Story of Seasons. I mean, there's still a Harvest Moon out there, but it's not it's not developed by the original developers. I think it
has nothing to do with.
I think his name is Yoshifumi, but the thing is that we played Rune Factory 4, right? That's how we got into it. And I backtracked and played the other Rune Factories too, but Rune Factory 4 was where it was at. And then Jay.
Right, I remember the very first time I picked that game up. I was a contractor. I'm going back to that. I was a contractor. I was working out of town at this time, and I was working so far away from home, and I was just super bored in my hotel room. I was like, you know what? Let me go to a GameStop and get a game. And just buy I think it was a Nintendo 3DS.
Yeah, and I told you, hey, play Rune Factory.
I remember I did text T, hey man, what's a really good game for the 3DS? Because at the time, he was really into 3DS games. He told me, best one I can recommend, Rune Factory 4.
And he's like, alright,
I got it. And my god, did I enjoy
the hell
I believe I was working out of town for a good 3 months. Mm-hmm. And my god, those were some of the best 3 months of gaming I ever had.
And that's the thing though, is he enjoyed it so much. But when I told him the news about the, I think the company's called Marvelous. I'm not too sure.
Marvelous, it's Marvelous.
So I think either Marvelous or some other company. We're not too into the companies in terms of their history. But all I know is during that time when Rune Factory 4 came out, the company that developed it or published it, I guess they went bankrupt. And that kind of dwindled our morale. We're like, well, shit.
Yeah, Rune Factory 4 was so good. Unfortunately, around the time I got it, it was already released. I think it was already released. It was already out in the market for a while.
Yeah, for at least I think a year or two. That's it.
Yeah, it was probably around I think it was already released for 2 years.
Yeah, but the thing is,
time, so I picked it up, and man, I just had so much fun. I mean, it was really different from other games in which. I like how it was a farming simulator. It was Stardew Valley. Unfortunately, I feel like this game was better than Stardew Valley, mostly because it had better combat, better characters. I mean, it was just better.
Let's just say this, viewers, is all
it actually had some features that I've never really seen in gaming. It had some unique niche features, not really groundbreaking, but it's just something different,
unique and different. And it has a long replay value too. And to make it, so let me describe the games to you, viewers. Rune Factory, it's like I told you, it's a spin-off of the Harvest Moon games. Now the Harvest Moon games is mainly farming, but you farm and you can romance your bachelor or bachelorette. Wait, no, because here's the thing about the Rune Factory 4.
Sorry, I had to look it up, man. Rune Factory 4 was released in 2012.
Oh, 2012. Wow.
Yeah, I picked up that game when it was 2017, 2016. Somewhere. I think 2016, 2017. That's when I picked it up and started playing it. And oh man, I can't believe it's just such an old, I mean, it was kind of dated at the time, but such a dated game impressed me. I was like, wow, I I really want a sequel, but it's like, as you mentioned, the company went bankrupt.
And it's been so many years.
I was like, I kind of lost hope. I was like, I don't think they'll ever make a gem like this.
CG kept hope, and then they finally announced it during Nintendo Direct. Bam, Rune Factory 5. And then
they announced it 2 years ago, didn't they?
No, they announced it like last year.
No, it wasn't last year because last year we had the whole Rona pandemic.
But that's
I do know.
That's besides the point.
2019 Rune Factory 4 special for the Nintendo Switch came out, which I really enjoyed. I just had to play it again. Such good memories.
So the thing is though, like the game is like this. It's like Harvest Moon, where you farm and all that, and you can romance your wife or husband auto. But you're like, a lot of games can do that. But here's the thing though, Rune Factory a lot of the games didn't let you choose your gender between female or male, so you can't like necessarily like romance bachelors or bachelorettes freely like that. Rune Factory 4 is one of the few games other than Tides of Destiny, but I wouldn't count Tides of Destiny because you don't get to choose your gender until like way later on. And but that's besides the point. It's basically farming, waifus and husband autos, and there's RPG combat and leveling up system, a crafting system, right? And there's also a good romance system, like way better.
I love the shipping system.
Way better than Stardew Valley.
It was. I think the shipping system in Rune Factory 4 was probably one of the best shipping systems I've seen in any game to this date.
Like you can think of it like this. You know how everyone's like all over, Fire Emblem, right? And their shipping system. But let's be honest, everyone.
Fire Emblem shipping system was pretty good. It was very not really. I wouldn't really call it basic. More like streamlined.
Yeah. Well, think of it like this. In Fire Emblem, you can't.
Fire Emblem is just gaining XP and then gaining like bond level 1,
and
then
then you have like
level.
each.
Well, it's not really bond level 1. It's like bond level C, D, B, A, and then S. And S is you're pretty much getting married.
Yeah,
like you propose to.
But the thing is, like, it's kind of like
you have linear, very linear. There we go.
You have support throughout every stage of your interactions with your wife who's in Fire Emblem. But after you get married, that's it. Sure, you have like some like hi honey, you're in the house or this and that type of thing, and you have a child. But like other than that, there's not much interactions after that. And that
didn't happen in Fire Emblem Awakening. That was like when they introduced the shipping system. It was like waifu wars.
Yeah. But but the thing is, like in Rune Factory though, not here's the cool part of it. It's like half voiced, so it is voiced. And the thing is that a lot of the characters are very enjoyable, and they even have their like a tiny manga, like a tiny, just a short manga for just to show off each character, right? That's what the Rune Factory company did.
Yes.
Now the thing is that like that romance system is nice, and to make it cooler is that like whenever you do you're on a date in that game or you're married, the other NPCs actually acknowledge that you guys are going out because
that's one of the things that I loved about that. That's actually do you remember? Okay, let's go back to Fallout 4 when it came out.
Okay.
They had like this also shipping system in Fallout 4.
That was ass though.
It was very, very, very bad. Like, it was just pretty much just sweet talking your way into her. I guess you could say into her bed or something.
Dude,
but it was just so bad because afterwards you didn't really do anything. I think it just gave you like a bonus stats or something.
Whenever you slept next to your partner, it gave you like a 10% XP
it gave you like a bonus stats and then bonus stats in combat, but that's really about it. You would like walk around, like, let's say for example, Good Neighbor.
Yeah.
You would walk around Good Neighbor and everyone just like, sup man, yeah, sup, and like let's say for example that person came from Good Neighbor, everybody just pretty much just going around with that. What I loved about Rune Factory is, let's say you take your shipping partner, whoever, like your wife who that you ship with, and I loved how you would walk around the town and people will acknowledge that you're going out.
You're on a date or you're married. That's the thing. Now see, like that's the thing.
People would acknowledge that.
He used Fallout 4, which is like sure it had romance, but I think it's kind of a bad example. And you viewers might be like, that's a bad example. So we'll give you this. We'll give you like.
Sorry, I whipped out a chocolate. I'm a chocoholic.
Yeah,
I have to.
He's a fat boy. Anyways, I also have chocolate too, so yeah, I'm a fat boy too. But the thing is, like for instance, there is Fire Emblem and there is Persona, right? They both have shipping systems, right? But when throughout the story and like does anyone really acknowledge you're married or you're close to this person? No, not really. They just maybe there's might be some scripted cutscenes that shows that oh, you're married, but other than that though, no one really acknowledges nothing. You're like, oh, that's it.
I mean, it's a very niche feature, but it's just something that I don't really see other video games doing.
And also the combat was fun too, and there's you can wield amounts of like swords, axes, staffs, magic, dual wield swords, and
unfortunately, since it was a 2012 game, I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was swept under the rug. That's why.
It's not even that it was swept under the rug. It had a lot of content. Like, my God, I actually got stuck in I got stuck for months fighting. It wasn't even a boss. It was like a mini boss. Like, before you enter this dungeon, there was this like ice elephant guarding the entrance of it. Elephant. I could never beat that ice.
You have to grind, man. You have to grind.
I mean, I understand that you have to grind, but it was just very difficult because I think I neglected magical attacks. Yeah, and that's kind of like.
Also, putting in this too, I would also recommend Jay to switch his followers because here's a cool thing. Not only can you if you the people that you ship with in Rune Factory, they have a bond level. But what about the non-shippable people? You can actually get almost every villager in that town to follow you and fight with you. Like, and they don't even have to be like your shipping partner. They could just be a non-shippable candidate. And you can,
unfortunately, it's like you can't really ship with everybody in town.
However, they do give you a good amount. Like I think
they
5-5 or 6-6.
I think it was 6-6.
Yeah,
but that's just like the bachelorettes and the.
You can also give each other
the bachelors and the bachelorettes, huh?
You can also give each other nicknames in that.
It's like me and T say. It's a very niche thing to rave about, but it's the little things that really impressed me about that game, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually very excited for Rune Factory 5. I just unfortunately, Rune Factory 4 when it came out around the time when video games came out, it was the full package. There was no DLCs. They might have been some like cosmetics.
Yeah, that's some swimsuits and stuff like that. But I can't lie though. But I would pay for an expansion pack for Rune Factory 5.
Right, and I'm kind of worried about Rune Factory 5. The thing I'm really worried about the most is that they'll add, really everything that's bad in gaming in 2021. And try to like make it fit in Rune Factory 5. Like, I'm worried they might do like a freemium model. I don't really think they'll do it, but you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm worried that they'll probably find a way to add like loot boxes or cosmetics, and that's not. It was that stuff wasn't really part of the game,
Yeah, I say this for Rune Factory 5. I say I watched the trailer. It is nice. Now, what I'm sad about is they don't have like live sprites. Like what I mean by that, viewers, is that when you whenever you read light novels, right, and they they have like some words at the bottom. I don't think
most of our viewers read light novels.
We'll describe it to
them. More like in Fire Emblem, you know how they have the little character icon, and
character
when you
icon.
Talk to them, they have the little picture.
Yeah, so think of it like that, except in Rune Factory 4, the Switch version, they made a remaster, like a HD remaster of it on the Switch, and they have live sprites where it moves. I kind of wish they kept that in Rune Factory 5, and. The graphics.
I mean, it's just a trailer. They might find a way to add it.
The graphics could have been, slightly better. I mean, it's a Switch game is a Switch game, right? But I would kind of would liked it to have some type of polish on that Rune Factory 5.
Well, I feel like you also gotta understand that they're probably reviving this series, so they're not putting all their resources. They're not putting all their eggs in the basket.
That's the thing. If they're reviving the series, I hope they don't just don't put their 100% into it and then it flunks. I don't want that. I want this. I want that game series
it's not the same. Yeah, because you did mention it's not the same studio because the studio that made the original.
No, it is the same. It is the same. It's still the same studio.
So they brought back the studio from bankruptcy.
No, because the bankruptcy passed. Rune Factory 4 did surprisingly well, right? And that saved them, right? Now the game that is very muddled is Harvest Moon and Story Seasons. Harvest Moon, the older games, yes, that's the original developers. New Harvest Moon, not so much. it's mainly story seasons. If you wanted to play like the legit story like games for Harvest Moon, it's story seasons. However, not all story season games were like all that. So I do recommend, instead of playing the newest stories, like the first story seasons that came out, play story seasons Trios of Town. You'll at least like it more if you're into that straight up farming and Harvest Moon type of feel. But if you want to right,
because I know with Rune Factory 4 farming, like it was
there.
Big thing, yeah, it was there, but it wasn't like the main thing about it.
But this
which
game
for me, I did enjoy, because I'm not really into the whole farming thing. I did love the combat system in Rune Factory 4.
I like the village interactions, just talking to everyone, giving each other gifts. The little also the villages have events like cooking contests, or like swimsuit contests, or like fishing contests. They just have everything. It's really fun.
Yeah,
all the characters are likable.
Honestly, like if I know a person and they're kind of into those types of games, Rune Factory 4 like is just the one that.
Do yourself a favor, viewers. If you have a Switch, which I think you have, or viewers or listeners, either way, goes via apples, tomatoes, oranges, bananas, and.
You're not making sense about that, but I mean.
Anyways,
I don't really think Ted's gonna like that. I mean,
Ted, our one viewer. Hey, Ted, you out there?
Hey, what's up, Ted?
He's like, hi, Ted. Anyways,
I know you were busy, and I know you didn't watch our first episode, but here's a shout out to you, Ted.
Yeah. Anyways, do yourself a favor. Get Rune Factory 4 Special Edition on the Switch. I mean, sure, I could say, get the 3D, get the original 3DS, like, Rune Factory 4, but the one on the Switch is so much better. It looks better. They added more content.
They added that honeymoon.
They added the honeymoon phase. They added more customization, content, and like
newlywed mode.
Yeah, but overall though, like that is the game you should get. And to make it,
I like the soundtrack in there too. The soundtrack was pretty good.
To make it much better, viewers, is that Rune Factory 4, just the Rune Factory 4 on the Switch, is cheap. It's like without, not the archival edition. That's like their archival edition.
I had to get that.
Yeah,
man. That was such
the archival edition is like their limited edition version. And that's like what, $49, right?
Yeah, but I mean, still it's kind of like a collector's edition.
But
you were saying, right? It really just has an art
book
and
the collector's edition.
Yeah. It's not a bad deal for like sort of a kind of like a collector's edition. Not really a bad
it's really
deal.
nice.
Yeah.
And anyone that likes Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, or like
that's a game
those simulation games, right? Like I'm not sure if they played this game on Steam.
Farming simulators.
No, there's a game on Steam that I played for a while to like scratch my Harvest Moon itch. It was called World's Dawn. It was called World's Dawn on Steam. I played the hell out of that. But yeah, I got together with the pigtailed tomboy girl. I liked that, but like I never like finished the game because like I think they kind of ran out of like things to do in the game after a while. But yeah, anyone who's a fan of Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, World's Dawn on Steam, and still simulation games, Rune Factory 4 on the Switch is a game that me and Jay wholeheartedly recommend. Like we recommend that. It's nice. If you don't believe us,
is one of those games
you can watch some reviews, or you can watch some gameplay. It's up to you. But I say it's a new venture for anyone that hasn't put their foot on the dirt. It's nice.
All right, I think that wraps up the very first topic that we're trying to talk about. Let's move on to the next one. Kind of a lesser known one. We all know. Well, I mean, me and T love anime.
Yeah.
We also love reading mangas, but we noticed not many people talk about Korean manhwas. That's actually like a really good topic. That we really want to
sure, there's mangas, right? But Korean people call their mangas or like their comic books manhwas, right? Now the thing is that like those manhwas are really good. Okay, it's like this. If you like Spanish soap operas, you like Korean manhwas.
If you're really into drama, you might actually enjoy manhwas. Because I do feel like a difference between mangas and manhwas is that manhwas, they're more how should I say? They're more like story focused, and they mostly lean into the whole drama.
Yeah.
Because I think Koreans are legendary with their soap operas.
Dude, this legendary to the point it almost like is up there with Spanish soap operas. It's just so up there.
You mean Mexican soap operas?
I mean, tomatoes, tomato.
I guess to each his own. I guess. Yes, but one of the manhwas I remember reading. Unfortunately, I'm kind of a dog when it comes to this type of stuff.
Dog.
A
naughty
so
dog.
I'm really more into the 18 plus.
We're into the naughty boy stuff. We're into the 18 plus stuff that, oh please, no, don't look at me. He's watching me.
And I think one of the ones that I'm reading right now, I think I'm currently reading 3, and I just actually finished 1. One of the ones I'm reading is Lucky Guy, A Wonderful New World, and I think the one that I just finished is Firmaholic.
Yeah. Yes.
I believe that's the one you recommended me to.
Oh, yes. So, like, Pheromone-holic viewers, it is an 18 plus manhwa. Don't get me wrong. However, the art style is really nice. So the thing about Korean manhwas that you have to know, viewers, is that Korean manhwas are they're colored, and they're also like read from like, it's not page to page. It's kind of like all in one. Like
it's very mobile friendly.
Yeah, very mobile friendly. However, it's just that
like webtoons.
Yeah, it's like webtoons or lazen. But the thing is like. The thing about Korean manhwas, you must know that like it's basically almost smut at that point. And you're reading out in public, people think you're just straight up watching, reading porn. Why are you reading porn in public?
Oh, no. We must not call it porn in South Korea. Remember, porn is banned. Yes, porn is banned in South Korea.
Yeah, but like, we'll call it advanced reading.
Let's call it adult reading.
Well, anyways, that's beside
or
the
let's
point.
just call it what it is, like kind of like an erotica.
Yeah, but it's like hentai manga. It's basically hentai manga, guys. It's basically hentai manga
with plots.
With plot. The thing is, like, you're like, so like you read a lot of hentai manga that's they're one shots and they have good plot. But the thing is about the Korean manhwas is that they actually drag that plot out. Now, full disclaimer though, a lot of Korean manhwas, not just the 18 plus ones. Not just the 18 plus ones. The ones that have romance involved in it, the 18 plus ones and the non-18 plus ones, they have a lot of NTR.
Which is pretty much cheating, but me and T can wholeheartedly, we both universally agree that we despise NTR.
Well, there's some people that like NTR, but like,
that's their taste. Yeah, that's their taste, but I'm more of a vanilla boy.
A vanilla boy. The pure Madagascar vanilla extract.
And one of and unfortunately, a lot of manhwas they like to cross into those waters with the NTR. But I guess it just adds to the whole drama.
What do you mean cross into the waters? They don't even cross into the water. They use an icebreaker and just go through the freaking. They go through all of that ice, breaking towards it. Like, we want you to experience this NTR, and you're like, no, please. And you're in your little igloo. Oh God, we have to run. Why? There's an icebreaker. Icebreaker NTR. Choo choo.
Well, I hope Ted doesn't like NTR. Otherwise,
I hope Ted doesn't like that.
But no. One of my favorite ones. I think Firmaholic was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was one of those few manhwas that did not have
tell
any
the viewers
NTR.
about like the general like plot of it. Not spoilers, of course, but basically like how it starts off and what you would expect.
Okay, so I remember reading it a while ago, so my description might not be accurate.
Okay.
So I do know that it's about this one guy. He really likes this one girl, but that one girl is like, he barely kind of notices him. Just kind of says a friendly hello every now and then. It's kind of like typical.
It's a stereotypical popular like
Korean
girl,
stuff, like
shonen stuff like that.
Yeah.
He likes her.
Kind of like from My Hero Academia with Deku and
No, but like their shit is at least like
It's mutual, like it's mutual and not what do they call it, unrequited?
Unrequited, no, because like I wouldn't call the main character in Pheromone-holic like unrequited love, but it's just that like when you read unrequited when you read Pheromone-holic, viewers, is basically it's almost like a harem because how it starts off is he's basically a loser, but he helps his old man on the streets, and this old man's like, here, take this drink. It's like that. It's like those shady, drink this and your dick get bigger instead of staring at the sun and type of shit. So he drinks that.
I guess he's doing the description now. I guess you'll do it better.
Yeah. So he drinks that, and he drinks that, and apparently every girl that's near him that gets a whiff of him, they just lose their minds. They're like, oh, I
right,
need
and
you.
it's one of those life-altering, life-changing.
They're like they're like I want you in me. That's what they want. That's what they're saying to him. He's like, oh, hold on. He's like, time for your dick flattening. Oh, it's like that.
Right, and it was a very interesting one because it had unfortunately it's a harem, so obviously one girl will win, and then unfortunately it suffers that whole. I wouldn't really know how to call it, but it's pretty much the main, like, all the girls that they pretty much show, like, on a platter, and he picks the very first one that he's trying to aim with, and unfortunately, he barely had any interaction.
Think of it like this.
Let's give a non-spoiler version of this.
Yeah, let's give a non-spoiler. Basically, you see him lean more towards the girl that he barely has any interactions with, and the only reason he likes her is because she was kind to him like once, and that she was, she's basically the Mary Sue of of the Korean manhwas, and
right,
and
many colorful characters in that manhwa. Luckily, no NTR, which for me is a shocker, but. And he chooses her after going on a wild ride with all these beautiful, colorful cast of characters, and he chooses the one I was interested in the beginning, which, to my opinion, was a crying shame. Very, very, very.
See, okay, we're gonna tell you. We're gonna tell you is that like Korean artists at least like are, I guess, up to date with the trends. So you can obviously tell that the technology they use and the clothing fashion in the manhwa is all up to date or like modern and all that.
Right, they're not just wearing one piece of clothing.
Yeah, and then after that, they are men or women of culture. They know that everyone has different tastes, so they give like a girl or a guy for for each taste, and you're like, and it's nice. Because they have everything on the spectrum. You have the tsundere, you have the otta landlord lady, you have the tomboy gym
pretty
girl.
Much the typical harem.
Yeah, the typical harem. And it's now it's not just smut. The story is kind of nice, and you do get some funny moments in there. Like the dude almost broke his dick off because something happened. I'm like, oh my god.
Right, and speaking of which, what would be another one? I guess one that would be kind of rough around the edges for most viewers would be, there's this one manhwa called The Girl That Lingered in the Wall.
Yes.
Or that lingers in the wall.
Lingers in the wall. The girl that lingers in the wall. Basically.
Now that one, another one that has no NTR, unfortunately, the art style is a little rough around the edges. I would still,
you would read it for the comedy.
Right. I wouldn't really recommend that one per se, but it's just one of those very few rare manhwas that kind of don't have NTR.
Well, it's kind of
in the 18 plus category.
Well, also it's kind of also in a way where it's in a way to where they actually could get you into manhwas or could not get you into manhwas. Because that manhwa, The Girl That Lingers in the Wall, it is a very short read. It's not very long. You can read it.
It's very short. The art was kind of rough around the edges. And another thing about reading manhwas is you also, since it's Koreans that are doing this, it's like a whole different culture and a whole different way of them saying things. Like, I know in Japan, like in mangas, there'll be like senpai. Like we're all familiar with like senpai, the chans. The
Koreans,
the kohais. Koreans are obviously they not Japanese. They don't use those terms, so they'll use something else like I think one what do you call it? Like pseudonyms that get thrown around in Korean manhwas is oppa, which is like older brother or like kind of like a way of them saying senpai.
But the thing is, like, if you're gonna read Korean manhwas, you're gonna have to get used to like
Korean names,
the honorifics and stuff like that. Yeah, the Korean names too. That's the thing. Because like you're so used to seeing and hearing Japanese names in anime and mangas, but like Korean names not so much. I mean, there are some K-pop stands out there that they kind of memorize Korean names, but the majority of the people in the U.S. haven't have that memorized. So when they do read Korean manhwas, it might not be an easy transition. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's worth it.
And I guess like if you're gonna transition from mangas to manhwas, I think a really good manga, and this is a manga surprisingly that it talks about Koreans, that I would wholeheartedly recommend to people. Okay, you know of Dr. Stone, right?
Yeah.
I believe the author's name is Boichi.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crying
You're
shame
talking
that
about Sun Ken Rock?
yes.
Ah.
Now he made another series called Sun Ken Rock earlier. Like before, I think this was before he made Dr. Stone. He made a series called Sun Ken Rock. Very good manga, actually. Very bad ending. Unfortunately, it suffered with a lot of mangas. It had.
Well,
a very bad
tell
ending.
us about it. Well, give us the premise of it.
Okay, the premise is this one Japanese, I guess, delinquent, kind of like fell in love with one of his classmates.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that classmate was a foreign exchange. Well, no, actually, she wasn't a foreign exchange student. I remember she was Japanese. But she ended up just leaving because she wanted to pursue her dream of going to Korea to become a police officer.
Yeah.
And she went there, and this guy kind of like followed her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so it's this Japanese high school student. He's in Korea. He's living a really really shitty life, and then just a series of events happen. Anime plot. And he ends up becoming the leader of a Korean mafia.
And then, but that puts a damper on the
and now
relationship.
He's the leader.
Though.
Yes, because he's the leader of a Korean mafia, and his love interest is a Korean police officer.
Oh my!
I'm actually surprised they allow like foreigners to enter the. I'm pretty sure that's just like made up.
Either made up or it is realistic, but there must be some type of like law
right, and then they have like a lot of colorful characters, and it's drawn in his Boichi's art style. It's actually really really good, but it's just a way for regular manga readers to like get exposure to like Korean honorifics because they start using oppa and stuff, and then they named him Sun Ken Rock, which is kind of like a Korean name like Kim Il Sung or like like the leader of North Korea. The Korean names.
Yeah.
Like Park Kwang Ko or whatever. I'm really terrible at pronouncing Korean names, but very good, very good. It's just I think it's a bloody shame they never animated that. They animated Dr. Stone and not Sun Ken Rock, and I think
they might. I think they might.
I honestly don't think so because of politics. We don't really like to get too much into it, but I think Korea still has some beef with Japan, and because it's talks about Korean culture and everything, it might not.
The thing is though, like it will get an anime adaptation because think about it. Hopefully. Because think about it. Some of the mangas that you read, you're thinking, they're not gonna animate this, but they animate it. Like for instance, we already talked about the Uzaki-chan, right? Anime, right? The smug Uzaki-chan,
yes.
Smug college girl, right? And it was it started off kind of like almost like Nagatoro. It kind of like it was kind of like it was out there, it's kind of niche, and it didn't catch so much traction. Only time it got traction because she was smug, so she got an anime, and it was actually nice. And she even got some negative publicity over that because people were triggered. They're like, oh no, she's short and she got big tatas. Oh no, please, not for my eyes. I cannot take it. Oh, the milk juggers will crush my skull. Oh, and they're all like that. But
right.
Publicity is still publicity, so it is getting a second season. I'm like, that's nice. That's nice.
Surprisingly, she's a VTuber. That's surprising.
Well, I don't think she's a VTuber. I think she only did that just to promote.
She's
more of her
it's
stuff.
more. It's like promotional VTubing, but
no, but like
it's. I mean, she has a whole anime studio behind her.
You're right.
Kadokawa anime.
Yeah. I think so. I think you're right on that. I think you're right.
Yeah, so she has that whole thing going on. It's just I don't like how her senpai is also in the stream. Like you hear his voice, I'm like, I kind of want to just hear.
Yeah, you kind of want him to like go away.
Yeah, like go away, bro.
No, but there's also one where, sorry boys, don't bully me, Nagatoro. Now everyone on Reddit and 4chan and all those forums, they knew what it was, right? However, and it was popular too because like the amount of smug faces that Nagatoro makes, people use that for memes and among other things, and that is amazing. When your anime becomes meme worthy or can become a meme, that right there, you reach that status of like of enrichment or some shit like that. But the thing is, people didn't think it would get an anime, but Nagatoro is getting an anime this year, and I was like, I'm actually
really excited for that.
And the thing is, like, you're thinking, it's gonna be one of those like Kaguya-sama Love is War type of thing, where like they're gonna tease each other, and there's gonna be a very strong sexual tension, but nothing's gonna happen for a while, or even in the manga. But surprisingly, in Don't Bully Me Nagatoro, their relationship actually progresses forward. Like it just progresses at a normal rate. Well, not at first, because there's that.
Well, I was thinking you were gonna say it progresses at a faster rate. Now, I never really read the manga. I think I only read chapter 1, and then that's when the anime got announced. I was actually going around to get to read it, but I'm not a person that likes to watch or read something again, so I had to make a choice, either keep reading the manga or just wait for the anime.
So what
I just chose to wait to the anime. But I was thinking the progression was just gonna be faster, because with Kaguya-sama Love is War, I did went ahead and read the manga because I just got tired of how slow the progression was. I ended up reading the manga, and my lord, it took a while.
They drag it out.
Took a while. They
milked
it. Yeah, they milked it. And I was thinking, oh, well, maybe in Nagatoro it'd be a faster progression. But that's beside the point. Let's go back to the manhwas. What would be a not 18 plus manhwa that you might recommend to people? That's all really we've been talking about. It's just
well, there's the God of Blackfield, and it's very interesting and very action packed. It reads almost like a comic book in terms of like it's like if you like shonen mangas, then and then you would read this, because it really has an interesting plot. It has action, and the premise is actually really interesting too. Like, this is not a spoiler, because they kind of like give you the kind of like a general. It's in the synopsis.
It's in the synopsis. Yeah, it's in the synopsis.
So basically, this dude, this Korean guy, he's part of the French Foreign Legion.
He wasn't really Korean.
You sure? Really? Yeah, he was. He was from Korea, and then he went to France.
You are right. That was a mistake on my part. You're right.
And the thing is that like they're going on a perilous mission that they can't win, and they're suffering heavy casualties. And in that skirmish, he gets shot and he dies, of course. And but the thing is,
it's not that they couldn't win. It's just they got betrayed. And it's in the synopsis.
Not only that, he not only got betrayed, but they were outnumbered. Like, they were not gonna win. Like,
it was an ambush.
It was an ambush. And the thing is that when he wakes up, he gets It's not isekai per se, in a way. Isekai?
You said isekai, like insect. No, it's isekai.
Okay, isekai. You don't get isekai in a way, because he's still in the same world, but he's just in the body of
he got reincarnated.
Yeah, he got reincarnated in another person's body, but he's in the body of a 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy. But he's Korean high school boy. But he still retains all his knowledge and training from being a French Foreign Legion. Yeah. So it turns out the kid the body that he's possessing right now is being bullied and and being trash talk and shit like that. So he he beats up the bullies, and he just basically becomes Giga Chad.
Yeah, that'd be the best way to describe that. I mean, he did became a Giga Chad.
Yeah, he became Giga. You can't lie, he became Giga Chad. He's like yes.
Like one of the JoJos.
Yeah, no, you can't lie, because for some reason,
he pretty much became like Joseph Joestar.
Yeah, because for some reason, every girl wanted his dick. Like they wanted him, but he's all like, no, fuck off or something. They're like, oh, yell at me more, and you're like, what? But yeah, every girl threw himself at him. But even though they labeled this manhwa as a romance manhwa, there's barely any romance. It's kind of like an afterthought. It's mainly him trying to get revenge for his fallen comrades, and he meets a lot of allies along the way, and it's really nice. And I mean,
it's really good. It's just like I actually caught up to it, and unfortunately, after the main arc is finished, like the main, his whole revenge, I want to get revenge against whoever betrayed me. Once that part is out of the way, that's kind of when it went downhill.
Yeah, it kind of went. Basically, you would think that
I would recommend that first arc.
Yeah, I'll recommend it.
It's really good.
I do say that that Jay is right. After that first arc, now it's not necessarily an arc, but we kind of say it as arc because that's like the climax point. Like, you would think that it would be the climax of the series, right? But it wasn't, and the series keep on going, and I'm all like, well, I felt kind of hoed right there because I thought this was the climax, and everything leading up to this point was because of this.
It was all hype, and then like everything after the main story, after he's completed his revenge, it's kind of just stagnant.
Yeah, it's kind of like
very stagnant.
I mean, he's still trying to get his revenge, but it's like main
stuff still happens. It's just
but the main drama is kind of gone.
Yeah.
But good series though. I say give the God of Blackfield, the God of Black then Field, like like a cornfield, like Blackfield. It's really nice.
Cornfield.
Yeah. No, but there's another manhwa, right, that I've read. I'm not sure if you read it, but it's nice. It is kind of on the more aimed towards the girls in a way, but like you said, Majay, Korean manhwas are really good at drama. And tell me if you heard about this or not. It's called The Makeup Remover.
I unfortunately have not.
So I'll give you a quick synopsis, or quick overview. Now, The Makeup Remover is basically about a Korean girl. So most of the Korean mangas, Korean manhwas viewers is in Korea, of course, but majority of them takes place mainly in college. They don't take place in high school as much, but that's besides the point. The synopsis is basically...
You know what? You're right. I actually did notice that most Korean manhwas are not like high school based. I did read some like
in high
How
school,
to Fight and I think Overlord. There's another one called Overlord. But yeah, the majority of them, it's not like Japanese mangas where like most of them are like high school because they have that connotation that high school is the best years of your life. But you're in America, and I'm assuming maybe Korea, just based on that trend, I guess college is the best times of your life. Yeah. No, I can't say I have read that one.
No, I do say though. Here's the synopsis though, because like boy or girl, you might like it because of the plot, how the plot goes, but maybe for not guys though, because it doesn't feel like it's for them. But basically, it tells about a average Korean girl, right? That is not really popular, but it's not really not really unpopular. She's not really ugly, but she's not really pretty. I guess she's average, of course. The thing is that everyone in Korea, they use makeup, right? So far, to my knowledge. And if you don't know how to use makeup, then you're kind of, an outcast in a way, because you don't know how to do makeup. Now, that's just from reading manhwas. That's not from my personal experience. Now, the thing is that the plot takes off to where, she wants to look pretty. So she goes to a makeup artist. The makeup artist, everyone's face is not a one size fits all. So the makeup artist gives her, the face of her, puts makeup on her based on the picture of the popular girl. But it doesn't turn out well. So one of the major players of the makeup game sees her. He's like, oh, I need your face. You're the face I want.
Oh my god, that sounds like...
No, it sounds...
the way you describe it's gonna sound like serial killer.
I know, it sounds like Ted Bundy type of shit. But like, no, I'm telling you, she's like, I want your face. Because, he was a very picky person. Because, he's an artist, and he's a canvas, right? Because it's makeup. Right. And, not every canvas is the same or perfect.
Kind of like how that one artist guy in Persona 5 really wanted Anne to be the model.
I know.
That was
creepy.
Weird, yeah.
But, basically, she finally agrees to be his model, right? And it turns out he's one of those like high-end makeup artists, right? So it tells about their journey as a makeup artist and model of entering these. I think it's the Cinderella pageant. It's kind of like a Cinderella pageant, but like for makeup, entering a contest to see who which artist team of art, makeup artist and model will win this contest. And it is very important because if whoever wins, then the makeup artist will get his own line of makeup from the company, right? And he gets the prestige of, hey, I won this contest. And then after that, the model gets like a 1-2 year contract as a model because, she's good and she gets her name out for herself, right? However, remember, man, here's where it gets like very, very dramatic. Is because, it's a Korean manhwa. And the people who are holding this contest is actually like they have an insider. You know, they have an insider on their team, so they want their own team to win, and because they're hosting it, and you're like, well, damn, and like there's a lot of like sexual tension and roller coaster rides. No, man, it's something, man. I'm telling you, like, but makeup remover, I say give it a try.
And with that, and would you say that's your favorite manhwa?
Not necessarily,
because my favorite Korean manhwa was actually one. It's kind of the title's kind of like FBI open up kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's one called She Is Young. That was actually one of my favorite. That was actually one of my favorite. Korean manhwas.
You're right. You know what? You recommended me that manhwa a lot, but now when you pointed it out about the title. You're right. That's kind of FBI, like KGB-chan right there. It's kind of like, open up. No, right. Please. Comrade, open up. All right, we will bust down door.
Right, and the main reason I loved it was just, it was one of those, vanilla. It was very vanilla in a way. I mean, I didn't like how they kind of like sprinkled, like, they hinted NTR in there. Are you
talking about the one about the time traveling?
Yes, it was. Okay, so the plot for that one is... It's this one couple, they're married, they've been married for a while, but it's just, I guess they're like unhappy with their sex life. And they just get like a random visitor in the door, and it's like this one young girl that just so happens to look like his wife, but just like younger, like she's in high school. And it pretty much, the plot is the wife's younger self from the past somehow traveled into the future. And it's like, I guess, in a way to try to fix their marriage because they're kind of like unhappy with their sex lives.
Yeah.
Very,
there's a lot of misunderstandings when it starts
there's a lot of misunderstandings, but it's actually very good, and it's another one of those manhwas that has no NTR.
Yeah.
They hint at it,
because he has a homie in that manhwa.
And his homie was real though, even though his methods were questionable. He was real.
He was real. Yes.
He was real. Yeah. I don't recommend anybody read the sequel.
What are you talking about? There is no sequel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let's just pretend that there is no sequel.
You don't want that sequel. Unless you're into that, do not read the sequel to it. Like, She Is Young.
Yeah, if you don't really like vanilla, then I mean, it's the opposite.
If you don't like NTR,
if you don't like NTR, I would not recommend.
Well, if you think about it, like the manhwa in general is like a treasure trove for NTR because
Right. But it's just if you hate that type of content, I wouldn't really recommend part 2. I don't think. I personally don't think it's canon, and it didn't exist, like you said.
It didn't exist. It did not exist.
Yeah, it does not exist. Every time I actually have some friends outside of T, and we talk about this type of stuff, and every time they're like, hey man, what about part 2? I'm like, what are you talking about? There is no part 2.
There is no part 2. No, wait. Now tell me this, Jay. Tell me this. Manhwas are nice. And they both gave us some, entertainment, and some of them scarred us more than others.
Right, it's different. I like how mobile friendly it is to read.
Tell me this, which hentai manga or doujinshi did you read that kind of like ew, just traumatize you, or just you're like, ew.
One that traumatized me. Oof. That's actually I can't remember because they probably traumatized me so much that I pushed them out of my brain.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Describe it.
You'd have to give me a minute to remember.
Okay.
So let's go back to you because I need to remember.
So mine is this. I think the hentai manga, by the way, viewers, 18 plus. Ooh. No. No. So
this is our second episode and we're already talking about this type of stuff.
Whatever. No, but 18 plus though, this hentai manga is 18 plus, is a one shot. I think, I don't know the exact name, it's just hard to give the sauce, but some of your fellow Redditors and your 4chaners might help you with it. But the name is...
You're really trying to recommend somebody a manga that, like a doujinshi that traumatized you? Or
I mean, like, it gives them a clearer picture. I mean share my pain.
I wouldn't do that to anybody.
Right, no, because I think it's called crap, what is it called? Stick love or cocktail love or something like that? It's something like that. So basically, the story goes, a crestfallen guy goes into a bar, and he's all like, he's just there for the drinking, and then suddenly he meets the bartender, and the bartender is just so happens to be his childhood friend, or his friend from high school or some shit like that. And I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing, and he kind of, or she kind of had a crush on they kind of had a crush on each other, but they didn't like pursue it. But now they met like years later, and they're all like in college by this time, or like I think they're young adults at the time. I'm not too sure how old they were, but I think he's old enough to drink, so I think he's at least like 20, 21, 20. Anyways, that's beside this point. The point is,
oh god, I just remembered.
So the point is, they're closing up. Like CCJ's like cringing, he's like, no, please. So they're closing up the bar, but since she's the bartender, she's like, hey Jay. She's like, no, my bad. Hey MC, wait a minute. Try this new drink I made. I want you to try it, alright? Sure. So basically tries the new drink, they drink together, and I think he passes out or he doesn't pass out, I'm not too sure, but they ended up doing it, right? And I'm like, okay, they're doing it, okay? And he's all like, I'm sorry, I can't get hard or something. She's like, don't worry, will this help? So she kind of like, unbuttons her like blouse, and bam, boobs, boom, right in her face. He's all like, wow, those are nice. But he's like like a chubby chub, right? And she's like, that's not gonna work. I have the solution to your I don't think he had ED. I think he was just being shy. But she's like, I have the solution to your to your whimpering bird. He's like, fuck you mean? So she grabs the stir stick that you use to stir the cocktails for your drink, and just jams that in that man's urethra. And I'm like, what the hell? And then now his dick at this point is fully erect. It's like a monument. But at the same time,
this isn't really traumatizing. No, very disturbing.
So
and
I'm all like, what the fuck?
Just the fact that you're still continuing to try to describe this is like...
No, here's the thing though. Is that like, I was thinking, it's gonna get better, so I kept on reading it.
Really? You kept going out even after all of that?
Yeah, so basically, it's still in his urethra. And I'm like, oh my god. So, they do it, but the art still shows that thing still in his, his hole. And you're like, ew. And then when he finishes it, it's still in that hole. And I'm all like, Now then afterwards, there is a happy ending to this, because he now, because I think he didn't.
I don't know.
No. Here's the happy ending, Jay.
There's still a happy ending.
Yeah. So like,
this. Wow.
I guess he didn't have a job, so she offered him to work there too with him, and she would train him, right? And he has a job, and he's with the one that he loves, and it ends right there. But at the same time, though,
in love.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, did she really have to jam that cocktail stirrer in his thing? And to make it worse, they kept on doing an X-ray vision of that still stuck, and I was like, ugh. I felt that, viewers. I was like, oh no, oh. No, I did not want that. I did not want.
Well, I guess it's safe to assume that by this point Ted already left.
No. Ted just went back into the kitchen, got some,
Ted's a busy person.
Ted's a busy person, yes. Ted went to the kitchen and grabbed some like uncooked popcorn and started chewing on that like it's like like his Pringles. He loves unpopped popcorn. It's like, now what was your like traumatizing-ness?
Okay, yours was more disturbing than traumatizing. I wouldn't really like. Okay,
I mean, would you want that on yourself?
Really, it goes back to that part 2 that I mentioned for that manhwa. That's kind of like the reason why I think it does not exist. So like it's for me it was like, it wasn't really disturbing, like game changing, or like, it's just the way the author handled it and put it piece by piece.
Yeah.
That's the reason, like, it kind of like made sense, and for once, it made me sympathize with the guy that's doing the NTR, and I did not like that. For me,
oh my god,
that jammed. That kind of like,
that fucked his mind.
Yeah. It stood against everything I believe in. And yet the author just made me convinced that this NTR guy was like, you know, the one.
Basically,
Now,
Jay got Stockholm syndrome. He basically was like,
No.
that's basically what you got. You were like, I sympathize with this NTR.
I sort of sympathize with him. That's the only reason why I don't think part 2 should be like canon, or like I don't really think anybody should read it, was because part 1 was just so sweet. You know, it was like very
So sweet and
vanilla.
nice.
Yeah, they sprinkled NTR in it. Like there was no NTR, but they kind of like hinted at it, but just for the drama.
They
'Cause,
salt
like,
baited.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, Koreans really love drama, so that's just like something to spice it up. There was no NTR though, but part 2, unfortunately, there is. Now, that's the reason why I hated part 2, and the way like the whole sequence of
Do you
events.
want to describe it or just give us a little taste?
No, because it doesn't exist. Like I still think to this day it was just a bad dream. Now, the doujinji that kind of disturbed me the most was, I don't really know the name of it, but I do remember it was about this one guy living with his wife in an apartment, and they were like kind of happily married. I don't know if they were like in that stage where they were just like, it's very stale. It's like a very stale, boring marriage. I'm not too sure, but they had her twin sister living there, and her twin sister had like a boyfriend.
Oh
and,
no, I see.
Like it kind of like geared towards the swinging aspect of it, because I remember he was walking down the street, like I guess he went to work, or I don't know what he did.
Male
he
MC or the boyfriend?
The male MC.
Okay.
But he was going back towards his apartment, and he bumped into the twin sister. Like, it's because the thing is, she was kind of like a gyaru, you know?
Yeah,
like
yeah, the Yankee girls.
Very provocatively dressed, and she was like holding hands with her boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Oh hey," but like she didn't say shit. And then like the boyfriend was like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" Blah blah blah. And then they just left.
Yeah.
He went back and started, you know, doing his wife. And I was thinking, okay, well that's the end. But it revealed that was not actually his wife. That was the twin sister. And his wife was the one that was walking with him, and that kind of like traumatized me. Well, traumatized me in a way that I'm like, I don't understand. Like, if you love your wife, why would you, like, why? Like,
I don't know.
My
maybe,
God,
I don't know. Maybe it's the aspect of it.
It made me angry, and I don't. That's the thing. I don't understand why some people like NTR. You know, that type of stuff just makes me angry.
But the thing is, like, you know,
Makes me wanna punch a
people
hole in
have
the
their
wall.
own taste. You know, they can like whatever they like.
And I'm pretty sure. I don't really think Ted would have the sauce, but I'm pretty sure someone out there will, and if you do, I don't want to know it. Please don't share it.
Oh my.
Please don't share it. It actually, like, it had me thinking real hard for me to go back to that one, because, like I said, I had to push it out of my mind, and I forgot. It took me a minute.
Ooh,
for you to remind me.
okay.
I hate you for that. I hate you for that, T.
Well, I want you to be traumatized just like me. I'm a crab. I gotta bring other crabs down with me.
Crab people. Now let's move on to our final segment. I mean, how was your day, man? Shit.
How was my day? Well, well, dude, it's just I have sleep insomnia at this point. I'm insomnia at this point, boys, because I did not sleep until around like 8 or 9 a.m. and I stayed up all night, and then I fell asleep and woke up around like 5 or 6 p.m. And you know, that's normal for some people, but you know, I want to try to get out the groove of that. So T did everything you could think of to, like, you know, make us tired or like fix his sleep schedule. So what T did was, you know, number one, T you know, watched some anime, right? T maybe like exercise a little bit. T even like spanked the monkey really hard, and like, you know, the monkey like.
I don't think the listeners need to know that, but
no, whatever, man.
Well,
you know,
I mean, if you want to be honest, then yes.
They're adults; they can handle this hard truth of life. But after that, you know, spank the monkey and all that stuff, or yeah, beat my meat. But after that, I was like, what do I do now? I watched more anime, caught up with some more anime, you know, started some new anime, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Drank a bit, had a few beers, and I was like, I'm still not tired. I would have thought I was tired, you know. So after that, you know, I said, okay, time's approaching, time's are coming. I am going to start trying to go to sleep. So leave YouTube on, have some VTubers in the background, you know, a long ass stream, trying to sleep. Could not sleep. Watched YouTubes on my phone. Looked outside my window. It was morning time, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, it's not really helpful for you insomnia. I mean, you might as well just keep trying to stay up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. I know you suffer from insomnia from time to time. How did you solve that?
I mean, I just stay up. If I realize it's morning, then I just keep staying up until I eventually fall asleep, which tends to be like I try to stay up as hard as I can. And
so do you stay up until the very next night cycle?
Yeah, I try to do that. But normally I think the best I can do is probably like 6 p.m. before I just get tired. But normally by that time I'll just go to sleep and then I'll wake up like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And I mean, that's just how I cure my insomnia. I mean, it's not the best way, but yeah. Yeah.
Anything else to do that? To help with that?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, sadly, unfortunately, I mean, because we live in a small town, I mean, insomnia is kind of there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do.
So would you say you gotta like soldier on, like just stay up until like around 9?
I mean, the best thing I do is just soldier on. I mean, you just gotta do it, man.
Yeah. Or don't play any like games that have
as you say, spank the monkey, because that's just gonna make you tired.
I mean, it clears your mind. It's like post-nut clarity, you know?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it also gives you like relaxed and like chilled out.
Yeah, does that make you more tired though?
Yeah, and then because you're sleepy, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to bed now. Nah. So I recommend.
So that's a lie?
I mean, no, it's not a lie. I mean, it does like relax you and everything. But
yeah.
If you're sleepy and you're like on the verge of like, just like if you lay down, you just get knocked out. Then no. If you spank your monkey, like you say. I don't know why you said that.
Rocky.
Yeah, it's just gonna make you even more tired afterwards, and you're just gonna.
Adrian.
Right. Yeah, and I mean that's just the way I cure my insomnia, man. And I guess that concludes episode 2. Hopefully, it was better than the train wreck that was episode 1.
And I hope we did better, and hope we did entertain you. And Ted, keep on listening, Ted.
Yeah, I hope actually Ted isn't busy and might actually listen to our episodes this time.
Oh, I told you, Ted's eating like an uncooked popcorn right now. He's enjoying our streams.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I am Jabe.
I'm T.
And I guess we're signing off.
Yeah.